He currently does have most of the online records for most of these maps. I think there's actually only one that he doesn't hold the online record on. Obviously, a lot of people, especially in the Grand League, hide their time, so that's not the full story. But Dexter does look very well prepared. So I'm, I'm expecting Sprout to be a good.
Twiggy. Frosty's been banned again.
Frosty has been banned.
It's turning into gyroscope
I feel
again.
like, okay, so here's the thing.
No.
I feel like there is a difference in opinions when it comes to Sprout. The two players, I think, have very conflicting ideas of what maps they want to play, and I think one of them very much leads the argument when it comes to that one. But Frosty, yes, does get banned out. Okay, so off-road, Vortex, Pool, our first 3 maps.
Yeah, Dexter says, let's play Frosty. Scrappy says, let's not play Frosty.
No.
And they decide to split the difference and ban Frosty.
Yeah, it's like, you know, every relationship should be 50-50. You do as I say.
I'll do 50% of the talking and you can do 50% of the listening. Yeah, exactly. And together that adds up to 100% of what's going on. Either way, look, we are going to have Sinuous as our decider, and I hope we get there again. Twiggy, we've talked a lot about Sprout just now. I'm going to say for Ascent that I'm nervous because I'm starting to get start of season Exalty vibes from them from last season, where Exalty again looked like a very good team, but just ended up not quite making it to playoffs. Ultimately, they did end up in the relegation tournament. They lost to a very strong Ascent in that relegation tournament, and then made it back in because, unfortunately, Fine Aim Racing did give up their spot. I'm nervous that Ascent are going to be that team this season where they give great matches to everyone. They look really competitive. You get to the end of the regular season, you're like, oh wait, that's one win beside their name.
Exactly, and for Exalty, it really was the consistency that was the problem. Sprout, not the most consistent team that we saw in Stage 1. Obviously, set amazing times, but a lot of the time, the reason that they were losing games or they were losing maps was due to a lack of consistency, especially compared to some of the other top teams. Ominosun seemed a little more consistent than them, I would say. You know, there are some emotes in their respective chats that demonstrate, you know, Scrappy on starts, missed again. But obviously, you know, we'll see. It's a completely different map pool. It's a completely different story. They've had time to practice. We will see now if they are ready for this one. That is not the Sprout skin, but whatever. Hey, there we go. Hey.
It in. You said it a fraction of a second too soon. I think you summoned it there. Get a little bit of fairy magic helping you out on off-road.
Oh man, I'm very good at my job. Obviously, Ascent now starting things off in the 1-2 position. Can they keep that going? Zero and Arthur, obviously they're going to be the underdogs coming into this one, up against the second seed from the regular season and the playoffs of the Challenger League last time around. It looks like Sprout going for the more risky lines, and it is Scrappy up at the front, although it takes a wide line on the ice. Dexter overtakes back into second position as Zerar takes first place.
Zerar will hold on first for the moment. Dexter is pushing, but will push a little bit too hard on the outside there. The line has worked out for him. Zerar, making the mistake on the outside, has dropped all the way back. Arthur carries the lead towards the front. Dexter and Scrappy chasing, though. No mistakes can be afforded to Arthur at the moment. Can't miss a checkpoint through those trees. Won't. Will set a time of 1 minute and 4.4. Not 1 minute and 4 seconds. It's not the best time we've seen today. It is enough for a draw as Arthur holds on.
Yeah, I think we're starting off slow. Obviously, you know, you got to warm up into the maps. I feel like everyone's been playing Cup of the Day for the last hour, so, you know, it's fine. You know, you just got to get right back into the swing of things. We were setting around 59.6s as the times that we were seeing between BS Plus competition and AUX Keeping NuaLaoch. So, you know, we're still, you know, about 8 tenths away from that one now. And, yeah, well, we'll just see if they can warm back up into this one. Dexter makes a slightly awkward start, but not too far back that he can't make up that difference as Scrappy has fallen back into third position.
Do we just need to convince Scrappy to do TMCL for content? Just, you know, going for 100 match wins in Challenger League instead
he
of
would
100
he would kill it then. He would kill it. He would absolutely. It would be amazing.
Guaranteed Scrappy first
every round win. Yeah.
I mean, hey, someone get on the phone, get Scrappy in here.
It's a good content idea. Dexter and
I
Scrappy
think they're going to win this round.
Well, maybe. Arthur in second place. It's all going to come down to the angle you take this last checkpoint at. And yes, Arthur does overtake. Scrappy doesn't miss a checkpoint, but he does fall back into third position. It's a round win for Sprout, but it's nothing insane. Ascent staying close to them.
Yeah, and is Still maybe a little bit nervous for ASCENT, already starting to drop that 1 point behind, and they have been making a couple more mistakes than Sprout. The scary thing about Sprout isn't necessarily their consistency, unlike, for example, an alternate attacks, who are just monsters when it comes to getting every single round in the bag cleanly. Sprout, you gotta be scared of that pace that they can bring out. They've not shown it so far in these couple of rounds. They're not setting times equivalent to what we saw between BS Plus Competition and Orcs GP NuaLaoch, but it is the first map. They're still warming up, and you just know that that pace is still in the back pocket. It won't be this round, though. Scrappy will hit a checkpoint, Zerar hits the same one, and it's Arthur versus Dexter at the front.
Yeah, a couple of mistakes don't really make a difference to the setup of the round, but now it is Dexter versus Arthur up at the front. It's all going to come down to the precision of the lines that you get through these final checkpoints. They are neck and neck at the moment. Dexter out by a couple of thousandths. Can he get a good line through this final turn? It is pretty much optimal now, and he gets through in that first position. There we go. We're down into the 59s, a 59.8 to start things off. I mean, at the start of today, that would have been a good Challenger League record there, but we have decreased that time quite nicely. Dexter and Scrappy once again get through that round win.
They will move up to 2 points ahead. Dexter just pulls an extra 10th out of the bag over the course of the identity against Arthur. And that's exactly what I'm saying, right? You just got to be nervous about their pace, because if it is coming down to close rounds, it feels like Sprout are going to have the edge in this map against ASCENT.
Yeah, I think so, and that's not surprising. I don't think. Obviously, you know, these players showed their, their skill last stage.
They're great players, absolutely.
Yeah, they are the favorites to win this match for sure. But with Zara making an early mistake, it looks like this map could go very much in the favor of Sprout right here, right now, unless Arthur can do something pretty impressive to overtake Dexter here at the front. Scrappy gets a good exit off that ice and gets more speed than Arthur. Overtakes into second position, and then once again is going to come down to the identity. Sprout can get up to 8 points here, can get themselves onto that track point and just get things done quickly, but Arthur once again moves forward. He actually gets a double overtake done, and with a better line through that final few turns, he can get first position here at 59.9. Scrappy trying to get that overtake done, but Arthur pulls out the heroics.
Scrappy was dueling Arthur the entire way through the track, but could not get the overtake done. And when Dexter gets a slowdown, just a small one right at the start of the identity, that is enough for Arthur to turn that one into a draw. They still trail, though, Twiggy. They still need to actually find themselves a round win if ASCENT want to get back in.
Yep, absolutely heroic, but obviously, Zara with an earlier mistake. That's all you can really do there is just get as many points as you can, or well, stop Sprout from getting points out of that round, and Arthur did his job perfectly there. Now you just need a lack of mistakes through that early part of the map. Scrappy gets a brilliant start. Now Arthur and Zara are trailing. Dexter doesn't get a nice amount of speed out of that turn and clips a wheel there. It's just an awkward set of events that keep getting more and more wrong, and again, now Scrappy is going to be the one that needs to pull out the heroics.
Scrappy, he definitely had the pace to keep up on the last round, but he couldn't quite overtake Arthur. And at this point now, with Arthur getting a better exit, but then a worse entry into the ice by far, Scrappy will move up into first place. Zara catching a little bit of airtime off the end of the ice will mean Scrappy with more speed through this section. Very different line from the two players as a result. It's Zara who comes out on top in that battle. Both of them neck and neck entering the trees. It's Zara with the smallest of edges as we head towards finish line. Scrappy may catch him. Zara has to release. Scrappy to the line will take the round win and turn this one into another draw.
I'm telling you what, we are seeing some amazing rounds out of off-road, even when they're not groundbreaking times. So it's just such a fervent competition between the teams that we see so far. It's one of those maps where there really isn't a lot to make mistakes on, so if you do get a good round, it's always going to be a tight competition up at the front. Really awesome to see now, but Sprout just keeping ASCENT at bay. Obviously this is Sprout's map pick as the top seed coming into this one, so they're going to want to win it, and they are now on the edge of doing that. They just need to get an ace, would be a lovely start, or they just need to keep ASCENT at bay.
Holding ASCENT off. An ace to close it out. ASCENT are not out of it, only 2 points behind. At this point, even just picking up a win of their own would mean that they're back within striking distance, would mean that they have the chance to snipe this map out from underneath Sprout. The issue being, they've yet to find a single round win. They've been picking up draws. They've been managing to scrape points back out from underneath Sprout. but they're held winless yet. Now it's up to Arthur to deny the round win on this round. She'll be able to do it. And in fact, with Scrappy crashing out, this battle to the front becomes more relevant again.
Oh
Scrappy
my
will
lord!
find Sarah, and with Dexter crashing as well, Arthur cruises home first point near a 1 minute flat. It could be the ace. It will be the ace. And ASCENT have a lead.
Dude turned into a squirrel. My man retreated into that tree at Mach 5. Oh my god.
This, I'm remembering Sprout in stage 1 all of a sudden.
Oh no! Oh, it's missed again for Sprout. Oh god! Oh, that was unbelievable. Just the speed check from Scrappy, and then Dexter finds his way up to the top of the tree. ASCENT get a free ace. Oh, not again. It may just happen. ASCENT take the points lead. All they need now is a round win. Sprout need to get that ace. Or a draw,
I'm telling
that's
you,
fine. But
those cube fairies that live in the trees, they'll put thoughts in your mind, and sometimes the intrusive thoughts win.
oh, Scrappy is already down by 3.5 seconds. Dexter needs to come in first position here. He slides out on the ice. It's a killer. Everybody has found their way up at the top of the ice there by losing a gear. And it looks like now ASCENT, they're on their victory lap. Zera and Arthur about to take away Sprout's map pick. All they need to do is just keep it clean to the very end. I mean, they've got a 1 second gap from Dexter, 3 seconds from Scrappy. There's really no pressure on them whatsoever. It should be easy. And it's easy pickings for ASCENT to take away Sprout's map pick after Sprout being ahead until the last 2 rounds.
And ASCENT really didn't set the world alight with times during that match. They didn't have standout consistency. They just had a little bit more than Sprout, who could not hold it together despite a strong start, despite managing to hold ASCENT winless up until the final 2 rounds. In those final 2 rounds, it just all goes wrong. They disappear off into the trees, their speed checks catching them out, and they will drop map 1. And we head to Vortex, which, if it is a map that you have not practiced as much, is going to pose a real issue. If ASCENT come in looking good on the map, they could be up 2-0 very easily in this match.
Yeah, when we saw Alternate Attacks play against Omino Sun on this map yesterday, it was a blowout. I mean, Alternate Attacks made no mistakes, and Omino Sun could barely get to the finish line. It's that divisive of a map. This is ASCENT's map pick. You've got to really favor the team that picked the map this time around, although Arthur not with a great start, maybe not even starting whatsoever to get things going. Dexter and Scrappy do get that first 1-2 lead.
They will be out to that early lead. Zera is still close behind them. And Arthur, well, he's 12 seconds adrift. It's going to take a lot of crashing on the part of Sprout to get Arthur back into this race. And so far, keeping it clean, keeping the car on the road, doing what they need to do. I guess the question is, how does the identity look for them when we get there?
Well, we will see. They're looking pretty clean on it so far. You know, there are worries, especially with the maps that were not in the All-Stars Championship. If you're not an insanely well-practiced team, this is one of those maps that's really going to give you some trouble, but it looks good from Scrappy and Dexter. That was the worry that we came into this one so far, and hey, they're out ahead. It's perfect from both Scrapper and... oh man, that's there it is. That's a wicked point for Zera. That's absolutely beautiful. But more importantly, an amazing time from both Dexter and Scrappy there. Absolutely beautiful from both of them. Not a record from either of them, but we do get that first ace, and hey, Sprout bringing it back against ASCENT. Zera does get 1 point there. You know what? ASCENT are really racking up the wicked points. They're on 3 already. They're on 3.
Yeah, Zera are absolutely
3
massive
actually
in the unofficial wicked point tournament. Doing that spin and still finishing, gorgeous, absolutely fantastic.
Should I explain it again?
I think you should potentially explain the Wicked Championship again.
Viewers. So the Wicked Championship, you gain points for doing wicked things. It depends on who you overtake. You know, obviously, if you do something wicked, but it doesn't... my God, the Dexter with the bug slide line absolutely just comes out of nowhere with that. Look, and you basically just get points for doing wicked things. It depends on, you know, what the wicked thing gets you out of it. If you get a snipe going, hey, you get more wicked points. But that's how it goes. Right now, ASCENT are on 3 points. Omino Sun are on 1 point. Nobody else has a point in the wicked standings. But I can guarantee you the grand prize for that is absolutely insane. You get bragging rights. That's it.
We love bragging rights here. I mean, hey, what's not to love about that? And what's not to love about this round so far? Much closer so far. All players within half a second. Zerar with a slow exit will be trading behind as 3 players enter the beam together. Everyone's staying on towards the end, and everyone's staying on all the way until the end. Dexter and Scrappy, though, have the lead. They're on for a second ace. Arthur will not catch them. And with a much better round, Ascent still cannot challenge Sprout dominance. They move to 6-0.
Brilliant round, but Sprout, I mean, look, we had our questions coming into this one. Obviously, we haven't seen this team on this map yet. You never know what's going to happen, and if Ascent pick it, you've got to assume that Ascent are more prepared coming into it, but Sprout, maybe a sleeper pick for them. Absolutely brilliant so far, and, well, two aces gets you right in the driver's seat for the series, and you may just be able to take back your opponent's map pick, and it looks like that is kind of the what we've seen so far, is a lot of the time, if you win your opponent's map pick, they will get your map pick in return. I think it awakens something within the opposition.
Dexter is so fast right now. He is absolutely cruising off with just good driving into the distance. There's the first real error of the round from Zerar, who slides out a small amount at the front. But Scrappy is going to overtake Arthur as well in the middle of the track. Dexter, again, just on pure pace, pure driving, is almost 8 tenths ahead of anyone else. And this could be a 3rd ace in a row for Sprout. It's up to Arthur to try and hold Scrappy off here through the identity. Arthur will crash on out. This is looking like it. No, Scrappy will crash as well. Keep an eye on Dexter's time up at the front. Where does he end up? A 105.5 from Dexter. Zerar comes home in 2nd place. Arthur will take 3rd. The round will be a draw, but Dexter was monstrous.
Absolutely insane pace there from Dexter. I mean, we're getting well up towards the world record timings there. It's definitely a new Challenger League record from Dexter. I mean, you cannot fault that round whatsoever. You're not beating Dexter if he's on that pace there. I
mean, yeah. Unless you are, I don't know, setting world records of your own or something. Yeah, unless you're Mutta. Exactly, that's a fair point. Yeah, Mutta might be able to beat Dexter. I'm not convinced that you're consistently beating Dexter if he gets times like that.
I mean, look, the average time on this track currently in the TMCL is 107. So, like, the likelihood you're beating that in any given round is not that great.
It is worth pointing out, though, that Dexter goes for the same lines that he went on the last round this time around. He goes for the outside dirt, trying to carry a lot more speed through those early sections of the track, and we're getting a pretty good object lesson in how that can go wrong. Zerar stays alive as Dexter this time around kind of on, again, his own driving in the lines he selected, but then going slightly worse up until the mistake had already dropped back a few tenths.
I mean, look, this is the Challenger League. If you do something really
Scrappy's
amazing in one round... Scrappy has more speed! Scrappy has more speed! He's overtaken! He's going to get it done! Oh, that's perfect! That's exactly what you need. Scrappy, you know, I mean, Dexter had been in that kind of first position this whole time, and as soon as Dexter drops down, there is Scrappy. This is Sprout's kind of thing. This is what they did a lot during Stage 1, is if one of the players fell back, the other one always seems to be there, even if they haven't performed well over the course of the whole series so far, though, you know, neither player has had a bad performance over the course of the last 2 maps. It always seems like at least one player is there.
And it looked like they were going to be doing that last map as well, right? Exactly as you say, there's usually one player from Sprout at the front. It becomes very difficult for teams to pick up wins over them. And if you're just consistently getting draws, and then sometimes both players from Sprout are at the front, if you just get aced a couple of rounds in a row, as happened to start this map off, you're going to lose more often than you're not. And right now, they look like they might be on for another ace. Sprout are looking to close this map out pretty cleanly. Zerar will catch some airtime, and I'm not sure that the flight is the quickest way through there.
Probably not.
But Dexter and Scrappy, hey, I think they're going to win on this round, especially with Arthur sliding out.
Yeah, that's really unfortunate. Obviously, with the wet wheels, you need to cancel that out. Well, cancel any drift out you have immediately. Otherwise, you will have a lot less speed going into the next section of the map. All Scrappy and Dexter need to do now is keep it clean to the end. Scrappy gets a little bit of a wheel touch, a little bit of a slowdown, but it's nothing too bad. Can stay in 2nd position. Dexter on another great time, looking to get it all done. And yeah, that's an ace. Oh, wait, hold on. Oh. I don't think it is going to be the overtake. No, Arthur did have more speed, but not quite getting it done. Dexter with a 105.6. Once again, absolutely insane. Sprout, really good map from them.
And I mean, I'm fairly convinced Dexter lost a couple of tenths to the run he got earlier on that early section of the track as well. When he goes for that outside dirt, he got a little bit more airtime than he was looking for, and a little bit more than he caught on that very fast run earlier. That could have been an even better time. Vortex, it's kind of looking like Dexter's map this season.
Yeah, really good. Now we're going to move to Pool. Obviously, this is one of the maps, again, in the All-Stars Championship. I think that is kind of a theme with Sprout, is that they're going to pick a lot of the maps that were in that. I don't know whether it's a practice thing. I don't know whether, obviously, they will have practiced the All-Stars Championships maps a lot more than the other ones, because they will have needed to prepare them sooner. So they have a couple of extra weeks on that one. Every single team does. But Sprout seems a little more comfortable on those 5 maps. So I think that is going to be a theme from them so far. So Scrappy and Dexter now looking to just make that cushion happen. Obviously, they have taken away their opponent's map pick, made it 1-1. Can they make it 2-1 now?
Again, a strong start for them here on the map as we head into Pool. And of course, Pool is a remake of an old Grand League map as well. So you'd expect if there is a map that maybe Scrappy feels comfortable on the identity. Hopefully Pool, I guess.
Well, yeah, I would hope so. Now Dexter and Scrappy first and second place. Arthur with a small mistake. Zera just falling back by 5/10. Not really a massive mistake coming out there. It's just Dexter and Scrappy are setting very good times so far. That is a mistake. Zera hits the edge of the wall. And I mean, this is looking like an ace already, unless something goes horribly wrong. Scrappy takes a safe line. Well, I mean, he's up by 1.5 seconds. Who wouldn't at that point?
Lines.
Apparently Dexter. Yeah, I mean, Dexter goes for the fully risk line, but that's Dexter, so he's getting it done, and that's a brilliant time as well. 105.6. Scrappy comes through 1 second later, but again, didn't need to really push it.
Yeah, I mean, 105.6 does seem to be the go-to round-winning time in Challenger League on Pool at the moment. You want to be consistently hitting that mark if you do want to be picking Pool at the very least. And given this is Sprout's pick, I'm glad to see that we start off there. And look, I'm joking, obviously, about going for the safe line in Pool because it's a good idea. I honestly love splitting the strategy across the team. One player on the risky line, one player on the safe line, especially when you are sitting in the 1-2 position. Just make sure that someone gets there.
Yeah, definitely. Look, I mean, we look at the end of stage 1, and it was Dexter that was going for most of the world record times. Scrappy got 1 in reps at one point, but apart from that, Dexter was the one really going for insane times. Scrappy was just trying to go for consistency, and that's a good way to play it. When you have one player getting really good times, and ignore the fact that Dexter is now 11 seconds behind. It has no bearing on what I'm saying right now. Generally, having one player go for really good times, one player going more safe, is a really solid way to get consistent points out.
And there's Scrappy going for the risky line this time around. It is adapted on the fly as he tries to catch up to Arthur. Only has one more turn to do it, and instead has lost time. Back to Zera, but Arthur with the mistake means Scrappy cruises home, takes the win. 106.4 is good enough this time around for Sprout to turn a loss into a draw. And again, just deny an opponent from picking up a round win.
Call Scrappy Hannah Montana because he's got the best of both worlds going on. The safe line and the risky line can get it done at the same. That's insane. That's so good. Sprout, keep that 3-point lead.
Oh dear, Twiggy. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear.
I thought that was pretty good, honestly.
It was pretty good. I really liked it.
Of course you would. I bet you watched Hannah Montana as a kid.
I had a youth sister who was only a couple of years younger than me while Hannah Montana was on TV. So, yeah, I mean, also the songs are bangers. So
I will agree with you on that point. But Dexter, not down by 11 seconds to start off this round, is going to be in first position. And Arthur trying to catch up now. The early reset from Zera gets him a little more exit speed, but he doesn't catch up to anybody else in the field.
And Dexter will be off into the distance. We saw last round, Dexter dropped a long way behind the field. It's because he's taking the risky lines. He's trying to go full risk every round. And the issue for the other teams is Dexter is so good that they still work more often than not. He makes a lot of the slightly riskier lines look consistent, and that means you need to full risk to catch up. It doesn't work. And that means Arthur now trying to catch up to Dexter will not get there. He's under pressure from Scrappy. Dexter is off into the distance, but Dexter is slow on the exit. And Arthur will catch back up, will manage to take a round win. 105.7 is good. And Scrappy will not catch Arthur. It's another draw. And that's all ASCENT can get. They will draw.
Ouch. I mean, you could see Scrappy once again going for the outside lines and trying to, take some points back from ASCENT and make sure. Oh no, Scrappy on starts. Just make sure that they get as much out of that round, and it really costs them just a little bit there. ASCENT get back one. Well, they don't get back any points, but they get 1 point on the board, and Sprout now still 3 points ahead. But again, if you let ASCENT in, if you open the door for them, they can really get it done.
Arthur has been the player who's looked a little bit quicker for Ascent at times, and putting the pressure on Dexter will mean a mistake that allows both Arthur and Zerar through. They're sitting in the 1-2, and Ace brings them back level, but Dexter, despite the mistake, is still right behind Zerar and may catch him by the end.
Yeah, you never know. Dexter has been consistently getting those risky lines done. He made a mistake last round, but apart from that, has been very good up in first place for that one. Can he get the overtake done? Yes, already overtaking Zerar, and not even... Oh, no, slipped out a bit. It's fine. He's got control. It's a good line again, and he gets more exit speed. He keeps that second position. Brilliantly done from Dexter. A deft finish. And it only gives Ascent 1 extra point over Sprout.
Dexter, despite making a mistake, is not put off just full sending it for the rest of the track, because he did absolutely send it into the identity there, and despite a wobble, it's quick enough to manage to get that 1 point back. Ascent will claw back within 2, but they are still trailing, and that is their first round win in a while.
Yeah, it really is. Now Sprout, only 2 point lead, but again, they are close to that track point scoreline of 7. They just need to get 1 more point to get over to that one. And right now, Dexter and Scrappy holding hands very comfortably around a campfire in the start of the match. Okay, never mind. They're not comfortable anymore, but that's okay. Scrappy is... Sure.
How is he still,
Dexter,
how is he still in second?
Okay, so how does Scrappy stay in second place there, but Dexter goes into 4th? What?
Absolutely rigged. Dexter just releasing to make Scrappy feel good, I guess, or something. I don't know, but Scrappy is holding on in first place at the moment. You have to imagine he will still go for the risky line around this identity. He does go for it. It doesn't work. He full crashes on the way around. It said Zero with a mistake. Dexter's right back into it. Here he goes, wobbling his way up onto the outside. Crashes as well. Arthur will take first place. Zero will take second. And Sprout have been aced, with Ascent taking the lead.
That was... It seems like Sprout just love one round every time where they do something like that.
This is what cost them map 1, though.
It is. Dexter climbing a tree, and, you know, these mistakes that don't need to happen are what cost them maps. I mean, the amount of parking that just went on there, absolutely insane. And now Ascent are the team that are on map point. And last time this happened, it was on off-road, and Ascent got the map done.
They got another ace because Sprout pulled the same thing off again, where all of a sudden, under a little bit of pressure for the first time on the map, the mistakes came through thick and fast. Maybe they've learned from their mistakes on that first round. These are players with enough experience that the pressure should not really matter. But Ascent, there is a little bit of pressure on them to try and keep things up in this round. They've been handed an opportunity to get back into this map, and Zerar may have just thrown it away with a crash.
Yeah, I mean, they needed 3 points to get this done right now. Get Sprout off their backs going into this next map. Arthur, he hits the wall. It's okay. On this identity, it doesn't really matter if you enter that corner with a little less speed. Scrappy gets a really nice tight line through there, stays in second place. Everybody going for relatively safe lines. Arthur a little more speed, but he takes an outside line. It comes down to 400ths. Oh, my heart rate. Be still. But Dexter with a 105.4 takes first place. It's not quite the Challenger League record, but it's very close.
Dexter just gets out of the mess, stays out of the mud, 105.4 to keep it clean up front, and Scrappy, I don't know how he held off Arthur around those last couple of turns, drove less distance, significantly slower. It's enough to win by 200ths, and now with a 9-7 scoreline, we are guaranteed a winner on this round. Ascent, they needed to be an ace if they wanted to be them.
Yeah, Zerar down by 2/10 already. Obviously, that can all be made up from any part of this map. There are so many parts that can take you off guard here. Arthur with a nice early reset on those wheels, gets a lot of exit speed and moves up into first position, but Dexter has a nicer line there on the pipe and gets into first place. Scrappy looking with more speed to overtake Arthur as well. Again, they only need 1 point. They need one player in the top 2, and right now both of them are in the top 2. Arthur trailing Scrappy by a couple of thousandths at this point. Are they going to go for those risky lines? Oh, no. Arthur definitely does, and Arthur pays the iron price for it, falls all the way back, and it's all over for Ascent just like that. Scrappy, he touches, it doesn't matter. Dexter's in first place, it's all good. A 105.6 to end things off, and Sprout take map 3.
Well, this time around, they do get it done. They don't drop the second ace in a row to allow ASCENT the map victory. Sprout will take their own map selection in pool and move on through with a 2-1 lead back to a second map pick for ASCENT. Once again, though, Twiggy on their own map pick. Sprout make it look difficult at the end.
Yeah, well, we're moving to control this time around, and we've seen this a lot, actually, over the course of, the first couple of weeks, the first week, both in Grand League and Challengers League already. We've seen it in, I think, every series here in the Challengers League. So
coming up on it, I think.
Yeah, I think teams are really, really enjoying this map. Well, I mean, maybe not enjoying. You never know. Obviously, there are a lot of maps that players played quite a lot in Stage 1 that they may not have enjoyed, but they were good at, so it's okay. And yeah, I think this is one of those ones. I think a lot of players do enjoy this map. It's just one of those identities that's incredibly fun to watch. But now it's going to all come down to this. ASCENT, they played quite well on this map yesterday. Can they do it against Sprout now?
And as much as the identity on this map is very cool, very entertaining watching, and an interesting challenge as well with the jump and touch on the way through, the rest of the map really, really well put together as well. A lot of interesting sections, the no breaks this turn in particular, the jump into bobslides, getting that consistently does make or break some players' rounds. Like Zera catching up, Scrappy falling a long way down, and into the no break section we go. Dexter does hold the lead. Arthur, is he going to try and send it to get past Dexter? Not quite. No one will clip on the exit.
Yeah, Dexter still in first place now. Arthur right behind again. Arthur was the faster player on this map up against Ominosun. Can he do it now against Sprout? I mean, Dexter is just a completely different beast. He's still in first place. He gets a perfect line into that final jump. Arthur, oh man, he holds second place. That's a wicked point. Another one for ASCENT. Absolutely insane. Scrappy is having trouble. Zera is also having trouble.
Too. Hang on.
Okay, well, a round win for Sprout. Woo, let's go.
Absolutely, as expected.
Held second place. That's 3 points. Oh, no, it's 2 points.
That's
two.
It's 2 points. Arthur for reversing across the line after making a touch on the way through will still hold second place.
Wait,
unfortunately,
did Scrappy also go over backwards?
No, I don't know. Maybe, probably not. It was significantly less clean. I'm not inclined to say it's worth points.
Okay. Well, fine. All right, then.
I have made my judgment, Twiggy.
The executive decision has been made. I'm sorry. We are what makes the decisions in this house right here. Arthur hangs a wheel. He's all the way out. He's in the mud. The Scrappy moves up into third place.
It will be Zera, though, holding the lead, maybe not for long. Dexter has overtaken, but also bounces off an edge on the way through him. So Zera in uncontested first place, jumps very long into the bobsleigh and means a lot lower exit speed. Scrappy gaining towards the no-break section.
Yeah, Zera still in first place. I mean, he seemed very confident on that first round. He started off about 6/10 back, but made his way back up until those mistakes were made right at the end. Can he just keep it clean here and get a good time? Scrappy obviously hounding down. It's a nice little line there. The bounce is good. It sent him even lower, gets him a little more speed, and he catches up just a little bit to Zera once again. It's good. Oh, it's not quite good. He clips a wheel over the edge, loses speed at the end, but I don't think he was ever catching up with Zera there. He just had too much of a lead. ASCENT make it 3-3.
Scrappy risked very hard to try and get the first place there and very nearly gave up the ace as a result. That was so close to a full wipeout over the last jump, which would have let Arthur through, only about a second and a half behind. Scrappy holds on. It's a tied match. It could so easily be ASCENT moving ahead.
Yeah, well, now Arthur starts out with the better start. And I mean, that could all change. It always does here on control. There is so much. And this is what I like about Stage 2. It's not just you go until the end of the map and then suddenly everything changes. It is the whole map that has these little identity parts. You obviously you've got 2 of those jumps right at the end, but you've got one here in the middle. You've got a couple of awkward jumps further on through. So everything can change at any different point in the map. Scrappy, awkward, and bounces off the wall, loses a lot of speed. Dexter and Zera both catch up, although I think Dexter made a mistake too, so Zera is just going to take that free overtake moving towards the S section.
But Dexter keeps a little bit wider on the second of the two S's and will manage to hold on to that lead. Arthanir way out in front. Scrappy is trying to gain. Did Arthanir crash out? Arthanir is gone. It's Scrappy through into first place. Dexter in second. The ace on for Sprout. Just one more jump to go. Two players making it cleanly through, and it'll be a clean ace for Sprout. As slow round, but 3 points secured.
Yeah, all you need. I mean, it doesn't matter. An inch or a mile, honestly. Sprout get that ace done, and looking to just keep this one up. Obviously, let's not count our chickens before they hatch here, because ASCENT obviously brought back off-road from a pretty awkward position as well. But you never know. Here, Control. Scrappy and Dexter look a lot more confident.
They're looking happy at the moment, although with that said, it has gone to a much healthier looking 6-3 scoreline from being tied at 3-3 only just before, and that has come off the back of both teams making a decent amount of mistakes over the course of these rounds. Both teams opening the door, letting the other team back in at different times. Question is, do Sprout now manage to hold onto this lead? Do they manage to control the map from here on out, Twiggy?
Very good. Scrappy in first place. Often it has more speed going for the overtake. I'm not even going to give you the time of day with that one. And Zero with an awkward exit, but it makes it work just about. Everybody really close together now. It's only 3/10 that separate everybody, not 3,000. That would be insane. Scrappy now right up against Arthanir. And trying to get that overtake done. Dexter right behind. It's all going to come down to these jumps. Oh no, Scrappy clips a wheel. Arthanir doesn't even get through. Dexter takes first place. Zerar in second now. And it looks like Dexter is going to be the one taking away the win from this one, from third position all the way into first, just with a couple of clean jumps. Zerar takes second. It's down now to whether Arthanir can get that last jump done. Oh, Scrappy can't either. Who is going to come third? Who knows? Scrappy gets it clean, but so does Arthanir now, and Arthanir takes that third position, makes it a draw.
Sanest Challenger League draw of all time.
Yeah, honestly. This map can go from just like the most insane competition, just on the edge of your seat, to that in one round, and I love it.
Yeah, and it was honestly very similar to our first round on this map, with the difference being this time around Scrappy doesn't quite manage to get across the line 11 seconds behind, but in third place. Instead, 11 seconds behind, but in fourth place. It's the difference between being on 8 points right now for Sprout or being on that 7. An ace still closes the map out for them, but ASCENT have been given a little bit more time to get back into it, and an ace would bring them immediately back level.
Yeah, Dexter had an awkward jump up as well and loses a couple of tenths away from Zerar and Arthanir, and obviously Scrappy with the wheel hang is fallen way further down. Now Dexter has a monumental task to keep in this match, and he bumps the wall just a little bit, loses speed to Arthanir. Zerar also, it looks like, got a little wheel touch, so he does extend that gap just a little further now. But Arthanir, I mean, he's been relatively, well, I mean, I say that looking at last round, I don't know anymore, but Arthanir has looked relatively clean on this map overall. He just needs to keep first position here. Dexter gets a really good jump, but it's not going to be enough to catch up to the two ASCENT players just yet. Maybe he can just about get 1 point out of this round. It's another great jump, but it's not enough to catch up to Zerar. It is an ace from ASCENT.
Dexter came so close to sniping Zerar on that, though. The first jump brought him within range, and the second jump throwing everything he had at it, very, very nearly catching him. But credit to ASCENT, they hold on, they pick up that very important ace. Either team now capable of winning the map on this round. Yeah.
Really important now. ASCENT are going to really want this one. They're going to be really driving their hearts out to get this one done. Even up that map scoreline, Sprout, I mean, in this for them is getting that cushion, getting 2 maps over your opposition, a massive, massive help getting to that that series point. But right now, it looks like Arthanir is on a different one. Just staying in first position so far, has been for the last few rounds, barring a couple of mistakes on the identity, has been really, really good on this map so far. Can he keep it clean? Now Scrappy overshoots just a little bit and falls into 4th position.
And Arthanir a little bit slower on the exit from that jump means Dexter allowed through into first place. Could be a draw, and a draw sends us to functional overtime at 8-8, where a single win for either team is enough to win the map from that point on. Arthanir is trying to catch back up to Dexter, is very close behind. A 10th.5 separating both players as we head into the identity. Dexter not risking as much this time around on that first line. They are very, very high indeed. Arthanir still a 10th.5 down from Dexter. One more jump to go, and Arthanir Arthur gaining, will not catch Dexter, but Scrappy may have caught Zera, not quite across the line. Two separate battles, both of them very close, and it is that draw to send us to essentially already overtime.
Man, you move a chair in the past, and that was an ace for one of the teams, honestly. That was so close from those two battles there. Now we're down to pretty much sudden death. Obviously, as you said, functional overtime, and with Zera making an early mistake, it's only going to cost him a tenth or two, but it's still enough now for Dexter and Scrappy to have the advantage in this round. Scrappy gets a little awkward bounce there. Arthur moves into second place, but again, you need to have both players really at least one up in that top two to get this done. Dexter, if he's driving like this, it's going to be difficult for Arthur to do anything about it.
And we've seen what Dexter can do in this finish. Getting one of these spread players into first place right now is probably the end, unless there's a mistake from the other player that's cost them over 4 seconds. And even on this identity, failing the first jump, unlikely to cost you that much. Scrappy, the player at risk. He's 4 seconds, almost exactly ahead of Zera at the moment. This battle, though, between Arthur and Dexter. Arthur has to send it. Arthur is sending it. Dexter is still landing a little bit earlier. Dexter still in the lead. It'll need to be perfect from Arthur, and still he's relying on a mistake from Dexter. It won't come through, and as long as Scrappy gets across the line, he will. That is Sprout taking the win, moving to 3-1 after control.
Dexter is really good on control. That is a brilliant performance there from Dexter. Just the consistency to keep Sprout in the game that whole time was so great. I mean, there were mistakes from both teams, but I think more often than not, Dexter's ability to just keep at bay some of those players was absolutely beautiful. Now we're going to be moving on forward, and Sprout, they just about got their way through. On breaking now, can they get this series over and done with?
This is feeling like Dexter's stage. Look, we're not even finished Sprout's first match yet, but this is feeling like Dexter's stage.
Yeah, it very much could be. I mean, look, it was kind of Dexter's stage last stage as well. You know, if he had a quicker start,
too slow.
Yeah, exactly. If he started it from week one, I mean, you know, who knows? He could have had all of the world records by the end of the stage. But well, we'll see. A wall bump there, not a great start from Scrappy and Dexter, allowing Arthur and Zera straight up into that lead 1-2 immediately. But hey, look, let's maybe we should stop talking about players and like hyping them up before we look at that.
Yeah, we should you know, let them finish out their match before we attempt to cast or curse them into oblivion.
Yeah.
ASCENT, they picked this map, and it's going well so far, Twiggy. Back to you.
It's going well. They're in a 1-2 position. Zera gets a little wall touch. Arthur is well out ahead. Now, Dexter allowed that position back, and Scrappy isn't far behind either. Could overtake Zera later on as well. The cruise control. Zera just about gets it all done. Loses a bit of speed to that penalty snow. Zera. And the wall touch again. Scrappy is 5 seconds behind. Never mind. He is not catching up. Dexter now versus Arthur for the start, but I mean, the whole pack is completely split apart. Arthur well ahead, barring a mistake. It should be pretty easy. Barring a mistake, Dexter in first place. It's done. Average TMCL round.
How close is Scrappy? Close enough is the answer to turn that into a round win for Sprout. I don't know if Arthur respawned. I don't know if he just tried to crawl to the line from where he was, but ultimately Sprout pick up the round win, and ASCENT will pay for their mistakes.
Oh boy, this job is fun, I'm telling you that much. Anyway, a little bit of a cleaner start this time from Sprout, and hopefully that will help them out in the round. As long as, you know, ASCENT makes similar kind of errors in this one, it should be all good. Dexter starts things off in first position, Scrappy right behind, but everybody stays clean through the first part of the map.
Yeah, and we'll hopefully see a nice close race through to the finish here. Dexter was getting very aggressive with his braking wiggles towards the end there to remove the wet wheels, to start to shed speed on it. And that could lead to some very, very exciting identities if all four players get there together, or even if Dexter is in a close battle with someone other than his teammate. Unfortunately, Arthur has entered the pit of despair earlier on, and it's up to Zera to try and shut down this 1-2.
You remember Slippy Slides? The pit.
Yeah.
We've got a new one. The breaking pit. Now Zerog trying to catch up with Dexter and Scrappy. And, I mean, they seemed more comfortable on the identity than Arthur did. I'm not going to say anything just yet, but it seems clean from both of them. They get on through. It's all good. Zerog has more speed, tries to catch up, but not quite making it. And Sprout get that ace to get things done. And, I mean, that's the thing, right? You make an early mistake like Ascent there, and it's so difficult to catch up.
Yeah, it's... Again, Dexter and Scrappy, as you say, looking good on the identity, and breaking is really a hard one to catch on. If you push a little bit too hard, you are just going to be sliding out on those turns following the breaking sections. So it becomes difficult to risk, even when you know you have to risk, even when you know that's necessary to try and save the round. Risking too much is guaranteed going to cost them, and I think it's definitely something that teams are going to struggle with over the course of this stage. Dexter struggles a little bit with that turn. Luckily for him, Arthur is on the struggle bus as well. Sprout with their 5-1 lead, though, are looking good to close this match out on breaking.
Yeah, Zerov versus Scrappy now for first position. They're trading back places, back and forth. Scrappy just about behind, gets a little more speed out of that downhill, though, and catches up slightly to Zerov here. Arthur still putting that pressure on as well, and that's an important role for your teammate to have, is just making sure that Scrappy doesn't run away with things. Obviously, he's probably not looking too hard at the splits at the moment, just trying to get it done, but he doesn't get through. Oh my lord, there's a lot of mistakes going on in the water there, and Zara way zooms into first position. Dexter takes back third. Oh, Arthur falls off. Oh dear, that's what happens when you wiggle on there. Dexter, he's found himself in the jail. Oh no, Zara's still fighting. I mean, he's getting through. That's all that matters. Scrappy is right behind. He gets that one done as well. This is the breaking round of all time. Arthur in third position. Dexter following behind by about 14 seconds. It's all good. Esports.
Is it all good, Twiggy? Is that the choice of words you want to go with after that round?
It's all.
Ascent get an ace and tie things up again. They're back within 3. Back to you, Twiggy.
Please don't. I'm trying not to laugh at the moment. Oh, another wall touch. Oh, and a Slayer. What is going on? Please, look, we're only 5 maps in. You can't be getting tired at this point. I get you've been playing Cup of the Day or whatever, but come on, let's keep focused just until we're done with the series. My lord, Arthur in first position. Dexter loses a bit of speed there on that section, falls back by a couple of tenths, about half a second now, but Zerar is down by a second. Scrappy is down by a second. It's all going to be about Arthur getting it cleanly, which has been a difficulty here for Ascent. Oh, no! Dexter loses the gear. He's gone. He can't even get down the hill. Now Zerar's in second place.
I mean, again, Dexter, he goes for this full risk playstyle on basically every map, sending it aggressively into every turn where it's possible to send it aggressively at all. And doing that on ice does mean that sometimes you're going to end up losing the gear, sliding out on the exit. It happens there. It potentially opens the way up for that ace for Ascent. Both of them just need to make it cleanly through this identity, and we are back to a tied map. Zera is getting gained on. Scrappy is risking it much more. He may risk it too much. And he will send it into the wall. A great effort from Scrappy to try and catch Zerar, but Zerar keeping it safe proves to be the correct decision. Ace for Ascent.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair. You've got to push it to the limit to get that overtake done. So there's no shame in hitting the wall there. He was trying to take as much speed as possible. The overtake was possible. He probably saw that on the split, saw, you know, I'm only two tenths behind or so. I could get that speed, but it doesn't work out in the end. You like to see it at the very least, but the scoreline now 6-6. And Ascent are looking like they could get back into this series.
And it's one of those things that we've seen flashes of very good decision-making from Sprout this evening already. On pool, a couple of times when they had a clean lead, going for the safer line from Scrappy to make sure they got it. They're just making the right decision to fully throw it at the wall and try and prevent the ace coming through, because it's such a massive point swing. If Scrappy manages to get the overtake there, all of a sudden, Sprout are on 7 and Ascent are back on 4. It's a 2-point lead that you're still sitting with instead of being on 6-6. And yeah, unfortunately, it doesn't quite pay off that time around, but Sprout, they're still kind of in the driver's seat if they can manage to put this back together. They do still have the 2-map buffer to play with, and Scrappy can still save the draw from this round.
Yeah, Dexter was getting a real close look at those signs. He needed to know exactly where he wanted to go. Obviously, he missed the ice slide last time, so you need to know exactly what's going on, so he gets a real close look at the signs. But now Scrappy in first place. Arthur with a little more speed there through the first part of the identity. What's it going to come down to on this one? Arthur takes more speed on through. Oh, he gets it done, but Scrappy Scrappy has more exit speed. Oh, what a tight finish there at the end. That was a brilliant round. Dexter overtakes. It's the round win from Sprout out of nowhere.
The Dexter jump scare at the finish line for Zerar, who just slightly fails his exit, doesn't have the speed to make the finish line anyway. It's a round win for Sprout at 8-7. They win the next round. They win the match.
My heart rate. I don't know whether it's the energy drink or the rounds that are going on, but it's through the roof at the moment.
Maybe both.
Maybe
Yeah, probably not a great combination.
Dexter now, we're going to see, wall bump again. And, okay, a bit of a slower start once again from Zerar, so things even out in the end. Arthur and Scrappy in first and second place to start off with.
Yeah, and Zerar holding on here. Scrappy, he just wants to hold on. We've seen how things can change at the end of breaking here. ASCENT, if they do get the ace, if Scrappy is the player to make a mistake up at the frontier, or if Arthur and Zerar can just clutch up, pull off the speed, and pull off a quick round to beat him, ASCENT still do win this map. They are not out of range of keeping themselves in this match yet.
Yeah. Dexter still has a bit of a mountain to climb. This round down by 8/10 can get it done. Obviously, this identity, you can risk it as much as you want. You can try and get that time done, especially with the amount of mistakes we've seen from both of these teams going on through. That was close from Scrappy, but he stays in second position. Arthur slows down. Scrappy gets a good entry into the water, good exit speed, but Zerar is right behind. Zerar takes more speed into this first part of the identity. That's a really good angle as well. Gets a lot out of there, but Scrappy knows exactly what he's doing. Takes it on through. Now, how much is he going to break on this final one? It's a good line. Zerar doesn't have enough speed to overtake. Scrappy takes first, right when it's required.
Scrappy's breaking identity. We said Dexter has been a monster on some of the other ones. Vortex, Control, Dexter was very quick on. Scrappy's breaking identity is absolutely fantastic at the moment.
Yeah.
He's keeping the car so close to that left edge, stopping his sliding and his braking at exactly the right time, and keeping a very, very tight exit line, still maintaining a huge amount of speed over his opponents. It's it has just individually bought Sprout a lot of the points that they've got in this map so far, and it may be enough to push them over the line now.
Yeah, well, can't get too comfortable though. ASCENT, obviously, with a round win here, can still win this map and keep this series going on. Right now, Dexter and Scrappy in a first and second position aren't looking to let that happen, but Zerar is right behind. Arthur struggling a little bit to keep up, but still in the game at the moment. Dexter and Scrappy need to keep it clean here. They need to push on and just try and get this done. I mean, obviously, you know, an ace would be very ideal here. Just stop in its tracks. A round win as well gets things done. But Zerar and Arthur still in the game. They're still just trying to catch up. But this is a good round from Scrappy and Dexter.
Both of them up at the front. Arthur is gaining a little bit. He does go for slightly more aggressive wiggles through that ice section to dodge the snow. It compromises his exit sometimes. It'll compromise this one. And with Zerar crashing as well, Sprout are on the victory cruise. 1, 2 is the positions. Dexter is racing his teammate. He will fail. It doesn't matter. With Scrappy in first place, the win is guaranteed. The best ASCENT can hope for is a draw, and that is a Sprout win. Dexter, he's just going to choose to not even finish the map out. In fact, no one except Scrappy will finish the final round. Undisputed best player in the world. Sprout will win 12-8.
He's the only player that can finish breaking. The only player.
4-1 final score. A great match from Sprout and a much faster start than they had to last season.
Scrappy is the only player. Wow. I mean, yeah, great from Sprout, honestly. Obviously, a much cleaner start to the season that they had in Stage 1. So it's really good to see that, you know, a little more practice coming in regular season, which is very nice. And, I mean, a good performance overall. You know, Dexter had his moments, Scrappy had his moments as well. So all good. There were some mistakes. I mean, there have been mistakes from every team so far. It is week 1. This is what we're expecting to see. You know, it's a Challengers League. We're not expecting to see absolutely immense gameplay until the end of the season. So that's absolutely fine. But overall, they got what they needed to get done.
And similar stories in both of our matches tonight. The losing team, they still put on a strong performance. They look competitive on maps, especially their own picks. Or on their opponent's picks, I suppose, in the first match there. But ultimately, 4-1 losses. And I think tough 4-1 losses for both of our losing teams to swallow.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's going to make a big impact. We saw how map difference actually did make an impact over the course of Stage 1. Like, there were actually a few teams that really did. It mattered how many maps they won. It did come down to the last week for a lot of those teams. I think Ominosun especially had, Easy Dream had a scenario where they could have got out of the bottom 2 teams on map difference. So, yeah, that's going to be a big difference maker later on in the weeks. But for now, I mean, the standings look quite nice. Not every team has played, but at the same time, things are looking good for